papa de me call.
What is saying?
So, 4 years.
4 years.
But I know. Until I papa de me call Ghana.
Canadian born.
Boom.
Now, free Koromuano, Zania, Unimu Hushay. We bring you all that you need to know around the world, around the globe, everything about your traveling, everything about politics, everything about life skills, as well as coach. Found who the Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. It's here for Memamu Nyinara Akwaba Edeba Found Hotspot Show. And there, so wo shemia na che say menko baby. We have a lot of stories to actually unravel. And I have a brother with me. Today we are going to talk about a lot of things. My brother here, maybe you're, I don't know who is watching, but you may be facing the same or you may be in the same situation. So please pay attention and watch till the end. Don't miss any of this video. Watch till the end. I also would entreat all of you to share the video because we actually want to find someone. We are really in search of like the whole story to be I would say to come to a conclusion for my brother here, a successful one. So if you're watching me for the first time, this is Fanhudi Hotspot Show. Share the video and please put it on any platform that you're on, especially if you live in Canada. If you are in Toronto, Canada, I want you to share this video. If you live in a Jane and Finch area, I want you to share this video. It will help us immensely. So thank you very much for watching me again. This is Lady May Fanhudi Hotspot Show. I have a brother Abu with me. Brother Abu, I'm gonna, ask him to tell his own story. But let me just do the honor to introduce you to a story that you wouldn't believe. My brother here has been in Ghana for 29 years. 29 years. I will call it a kidnapping. This topic, I think it is a kidnapping. It fits into that category of kidnapped. He was kidnapped at the age of 4. 4 years old from Canada. He was brought back to Ghana at that age by the father. The father left him there, came back to Canada. We don't know what happened. Right now, we're looking for the mother, a Jamaican mother. Ghanaian grew up in Ghana for the past 29 years. So he's a full-blown Ghanaian. But the mother apparently is a Jamaican. So we are looking for a Jamaican woman that lived in the Jane and Finch area back in the 90s. That was when I actually came to Canada, by the way. I came not just long ago, before this man was born. So a Jamaican woman who had a son with an African man, a Ghanaian to be precise. At the age of 4, he was brought back to Ghana, and this is where he is. He went to hell to locate to find out who he is. Took him how many years? So I'm going to ask him to tell his own story. But if you're watching me for the first time, there may be information that you also may be in need of it. To be a Canadian citizen is very, very easy, especially if you know who you are. End up in the moon, desert somewhere, the Canadians will find you. So welcome, Brother Abu.
Thank you.
Wow, what a journey.
It's not easy.
First of all, I will say welcome to Canada. Welcome to Canada. Our brother Abu just arrived in Canada not too long ago, and I'm going to ask him to share the story, how he got a hold on his own passport. 4 years old, he was returned back to Ghana at 4, and the father refused. Let me tell you my own story, and maybe you can understand before brother Abu goes on. I was also brought here, not like, I was taken from my mom at the age of 3.5, by the way. But this was in Ghana. I wasn't a Canadian born. I was not a Germany born. I wasn't any, but I was a Ghanaian. And for years, I was searching for my own biological mother until I got to Canada and sent someone over to Ghana in search of my own mother. That was when I actually reconnected with my own biological mother. I was at the age of 20. But our brother Abu here is over 30 years old. How did he remain in Ghana for that long without actually, seeking help earlier? Abu, please tell your story. First of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Did you find it a bit difficult when you were, let's say, 10? Take me to your childhood.
Yeah, so it was very difficult. It was not easy. So for there, I was trying to come back to Canada, but it was not easy.
So let me lift up your voice a little bit. Apparently the voice. Okay. So at the age of, let's say, 4 years old, when you were brought back, who were you living with back in Ghana?
Okay, I was living with my father's brother in Ghana. Yeah, I was living with my father's brother in Ghana, but it was not easy.
So your father left you in Ghana?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So, and then he returned back to Canada?
Yeah, he returned back to Canada, my father.
So your father left you at the age of 4
yeah.
with your uncle?
Yeah.
And then he returned back to Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you realize at the age of 4, obviously Ghana is sweet, you were being pampered, and then when were you told that you were a Canadian?
Okay, my father had a wife over there in Ghana, so he actually told me that I was born in Canada. Yeah.
When did that happen? When did your stepmom actually broke the news to you that you were Canadian and not a Ghanaian?
Okay, I was about 14.
14?
Yeah, 14 to 15 years.
So at the age of 15, can you tell me what did you feel? Did you feel like you wanted to come back to Canada?
Yes, I felt like coming back to Canada. But when I get at the age of 21 to 22, I was very, very difficult. Felt that I want to come back to Canada. So I went to the embassy so many times. One of my father's friend showed me the way.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, before 21, let's say, okay, so at the age of 14, you were told, listen, your dad actually brought you from Canada. You were not born in Ghana. You were Canadian. And then your dad brought you to, so at the age of 21, what are the steps you took to reach Canada? Like what did you do first? Because it's very surprising, guys, that at 20 years old, you are still powerless till after what? 30 years old. You're how old?
No, I'm 33.
33 years old, Ghana. Hey, were you told something would happen to you if you come back to Canada, or were you living far from Accra? What was the challenges?
Yes, it was very difficult. I was living far. I was in Obuasi. From Obuasi to Accra, it's almost about 5 hours. Yes, it was very difficult.
Okay. Did you seek help? Did you call any Canadian? You said you went to the embassy?
Yeah, the Canadian embassy.
At what age?
21.
21.
Yeah, that time it was 2013. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
2013.
yeah.
He has tried. God has his hand on you. Thank you, Kwadwo Purple. So at the age of 21, guys, listen, if you are listening to this story, we are looking for the mother. The mother is a Jamaican. He doesn't know anything about the mom. The father deliberately left him in Ghana. We don't know why, but this young man, like, he's over 30, and he just had a breakthrough how to come back to Canada. So when you went to the embassy at the age of 21, what did they say to you?
Okay, they was saying that like I should bring the evidence.
Evidence.
That it's, what do you call it? It showed that I'm a Canadian. So I was there, and one of my father's friend tell me that no, you have to go and break your father's door.
So your father had a door at the house.
Oh,
Guys,
sorry.
listen, this is wickedness to a mask. Maximum wickedness, to tell you the truth, because we all bring our children. I brought my son back to Ghana for some time. It wasn't, I didn't, like a mother, a father love would even tell you to get closer to the boy, to your child. But in this case, the father left him back there in Ghana, and then he's living his life in Canada.
Yeah.
And it's not as if I look at you, it's not as if he took him to some rich man's home
No.
or some big time school. So when you went to the embassy and they told you have to bring a proof, did you have a proof?
Okay. Times goes on, I was not getting the proof.
Okay.
So one of my father's friend, he told me that I should go and break. So unfortunately, I went and break the door.
So hold on for a second.
Okay.
Well, before you went on a search spree, like he went and treasure hunting, and is one of Ghana, for if we build the house and then one of the room we lock it.
Yeah.
We lock it because it has our Canadian stuff. It has a lot of things inside there that we want to keep private. So your father had a room at the house.
Yeah.
And then you went to the room. But before then, did you go anywhere else?
No, I didn't go anywhere else.
In terms of seeking help.
Okay, I went to the TV station, like Mama Efe.
Mama Efe.
Yeah, Mama Efe.
Okay.
So when I went to Mama Efe and they say that I should go, they will help me. They will find out to see my mother. So when I came back and I said, no, I'll enter my father's room again.
Okay.
So on God, when I entered to my father's room, then I saw my Canadian passport.
Okay, guys, listen. So a friend of your dad gave you the tip.
Yeah.
To break into your father's room.
Yeah.
A room that is locked up.
Yeah.
And that is when you went how many times?
I went 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah.
So God helped you.
Yeah.
At that time, where was your father?
My father was in Canada here.
Your father was in Canada.
Yeah.
Ghana for me. Listen, this story is I am blown away. In fact, I am so surprised that a Canadian boy will live in Ghana without knowing how to return for 29 years.
In Ghana.
39 years. He's now 33. He just found out how to get the passport. So you found your old passport.
Yeah.
When you were 4 years old, when your father took you, he locked it in his room, returned back to Canada. But was he visiting Ghana?
Yes. He was visiting Ghana. When he visited Ghana, he'll be 1 month, then he came back to Canada.
And all these time, were you asking him that you like to return?
Yeah, I was asking him, but he doesn't want me to come back.
Did he tell you why? Like, did your father actually sat you down to say, okay, 1 or 2 or 3?
Oh, plenty, plenty, plenty. So my father, I don't know.
So right now, do you have your passport with you? Your Canadian passport? You left it in the car.
Yeah, I left it in
Listen,
the car.
he showed me his Canadian passport. I was like, wow. So I didn't believe him. I wanted to see his Canadian passport for me to see that he is in fact a Canadian. So when you finally went into your father's house in a room, what like, tell me, walk us through. What did you do?
Okay, when I saw the old passport and I went to the embassy called me. The Canadian embassy.
Okay.
They called me and I told them that now I have found my old passport. And they said that okay, I should come with the passport in Accra. As Obuasi to Accra is 5 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So unfortunately, when I go and they took the passport and they give me and they rent a hotel.
The Canadian
embassy
rented, when you found your passport, they rented you a hotel.
Yeah, for about
hey, it's good to be a Canadian.
5 days.
So they rented a hotel for you for 5 days.
Yeah. And they were processing the documents.
Okay.
So when they finished, and they said that no, I should, and they find some place for me. What do you call it? It's in Accra area. Yeah. So they said I should go and stay for some while, and they will start
the process.
Yeah. So I was there about 3 months.
3 months in Ghana.
In Ghana.
But okay, guys. Okay, hold on. So when someone gave him an idea to break into a room in a house, his father actually kept a room locked.
Yeah.
Every time he visits Ghana, he locks it. And you also mentioned that, in fact, you didn't even know your father's phone number.
No.
A 30-year-old man who was brought from Canada to Ghana to live by the father. The father would basically give you provision, but left you with an uncle.
Yeah.
So he's been living with an uncle. You can tell that, listen, my brother here was not brought to some fancy school or fancy home. You can tell a humble beginning, a humble upbringing. You can tell, very humble, or else he would have done this at the age of 16. You can tell you would have break into your father's, even after he was told to go break into the home and to the room, he hesitated. He didn't even want to do it until his own spirituality, his own powers, he actually possessed his own power. He possessed his position. You see what I keep telling you? Until you possess your possession, nobody will do it for you. So he went into the room 3 times until he found the passport. Then the Canadian embassy took him out of the house because it was a kidnapping case. He was only 4. They rented him a place in Accra. And then you stayed there for
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
So when they finished processing my Canadian passport, so unfortunately, and what do you say?
Louder.
Yeah. Okay. So when they finished processing, and they give me some small money.
The Canadian.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys remember say what Bruni? This thing, me say, wow, dual citizenship or Ghana. If you bother yourself to do a dual citizenship and you encounter problem in Ghana, you on your own. Oh, this man be a Ghanaian, a Canadian, oh, raised in Ghana, but look at the care. After he found his 4-year-old passport, they rented him a place in Accra for that until they finished processing. It took him 3 months.
Yeah.
Then they gave him a little money, and then
they fly me to Calgary.
They flew you to Calgary.
Yeah.
And then here you are in Toronto. Welcome.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Guys, you see, as we Ghanaians, we have this behavior about us. We think we can control the world. We think we have absolute power over the children we have. At one time, you started you see, this is a soul. He is a soul. We are just entrusted with a soul. God gave us children not to abuse or not to think we have absolute power. The government of Canada takes care of his own children because nobody but Ghanaians, we think we have absolute power. We can manipulate anything and everything. At one point, at some point, you need to know when it is enough. The father went a bit too far. So at one point, you told me you even had a fight.
A fight. Yeah. I was having a fight with my father that he should bring me back to my hometown, Canada. But he doesn't want to listen to me to see my mother. So unfortunately, I was telling him that no, he should bring me back to come and see. No, I want to see my mother. But he couldn't listen to me. So I fight with him.
Somebody is asking, so where is the father? The father is in Canada. He is probably watching me right now. The father is right here in Canada, probably watching. I really don't care the reason why he brought this young man to Canada, but at some point in a man's life, they have to make their own decisions. He's a grown man. So by the time he told the father, I want to go back to Canada, the father should let it go. But we feel that we are in charge and we are powerful and we can do anything to the children we bring to this world. And that is the problem we have right now as Africans, as Ghanaians. I mean, in our small little life, people that wants us to do things differently want to force us to do it. So this is the same thing. So Abu is back to Canada. But right now, the problem we have now is to how to locate the mother. The mother is a Jamaican. He was born at Jane and Finch area. I always say, you look at the bright side of this story. Abu could have grew up in the Jane and Finch area and by now would have been in jail. Who knows?
God knows.
Who knows? Only God knows. But then again, is it within a man's power to sort of take that choice away? Or by the time he was, mature enough to make his own decision, was the father supposed to say, okay, you know what? I brought you here for these reasons because I want the best for you. Should the father had given him that option, the opportunity to say, instead of allowing that flexion, allowing Abu to go break into the room before he could find his own passport, and then the Canadian, a third party had to step in, or the father should have dealt with this issue. And that is what or say that we thank God, Kofi, we thank God that he's back to Canada at this age, though. Very humble, very, very humble. I'm now looking for a wife for him. So please, if you have a young daughter, he doesn't know anything, or gonna for a man or boy thing. So at his age, it's a very critical age for Ghanaian young girls to fall for someone who's struggling. The father didn't take care of him as he should. He was working at Obuasi.
Security
Magnum
Force Security.
Magnum Ford Security. As a security guy. So it's not as if the father opened up a big business, lucrative business that he was running. He was working as a security guy. Imagine a Canadian working as a security guy in Ghana. How much money were you making?
800.
800 cedis.
800 cedis.
Per what?
Per month.
800 cedis per month. Canadian. What? Come on, guys. What do you think about this story, though? So if you are looking if you've been looking for your son for the past 33 years, 29 years, now he's back. His mom's name we don't know. Now we have to go to the Canada Revenue, Service Canada. We have to go to Service Canada to now. So the Canadian government did passport for him. I saw the passport. He left it in my car because I dropped him off. It's a Canadian passport, a Canadian, before they brought him. The same thing happened to Sewa Bruni when she went through that thing. Crisis abroad agency actually comes in, and they are in Ghana. In fact, if you are in Ghana as a Canadian and you cannot afford your way back to Canada, go to the embassy. They can help you. They can actually, if he was older a little bit, they say you would have paid.
Yeah.
If he had taken him a bit longer, let's say by the age of 40, 50,
like 15 years, 16 or 17.
17 more years, you would have paid.
Yeah.
Okay, he would have paid the expenses
Yeah.
the Canadian actually took, because they took accommodation as an expense. And even when they brought him back, they brought him to a shelter. That's a lot of money. Paying for his plane ticket, that's a lot of money. So being a Canadian, being a citizen of another country, you need to know your right. You need to know what, because Antina, Mama Efe and them, they couldn't, because this one is more international case. It's an international case, and we deal with things domestically. We handle things in a home house. Like, let me talk to the father, and I'm sure Mama Efe, if they had gotten a chance to talk to the father, that would be your last.
Okay.
If Mama Efe would have thought, because Mama Efe could have, they would understand the father's side, his reasoning, because that is what we do. We look at things from the perspective of older generation rather than seeing things from a child's perspective, a human being's perspective, that it is his own right to come back to Canada or not. He's an old man. He's over 30 years old. By the age of 20, you are an adult. You should be getting into, from your youthful, from the age of 25, you passed it. Okay, up to 30. So Abu is back now, but right now, the challenge we have right now, or say, tell them your experience in Canada. He is new here as a Canadian that lives in Ghana for this.
So this is my 2 months in Canada.
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
What is the feeling? Did you find it difficulties? You have your health card?
Yeah, I have my health card, bank account, and the last one is
SIN number.
SIN number, yeah.
So you can work.
Okay.
Okay. Are they giving you money to for support?
Yeah, what do you call it? The
welfare.
The welfare, yeah.
Okay, so government is also helping to at least until he finds himself some job to do. Okay. But have you, since you've been to Canada, have you contacted your father?
No, I don't have his number.
So every time the father comes to Ghana, Abu doesn't know his number. For 29 years. Abu, the father, deliberately does not give his number. So Abu doesn't know his father's number. But then the Canadian government found him. But because he's over age now, they cannot arrest the man. He's over age, so they can't arrest him. And nobody even reported it. I don't think someone reported this.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So right now we are looking for Osichoko Melonia. This story is serious. So it is so serious, my brothers, my sisters. It is not funny. Like I told you, there are so many, as you and I speak, there are so many people who are in the same situation. There are so many people who are looking for their fathers. There are so many people who are also looking for their mothers. In fact, the other parents don't care. Remember back in the 2000, there was a lot of Ghanaian young children brought into the country, and through DNA, they found out that the father who is sponsoring them were not their fathers. When the DNA law kicked in Canada. So there are a lot of people who are now walking in limbos and also looking for answers. And there are a lot of things that it affects in your own personal life when you don't know who you are. When you want to find out, so Yvonne Nelson, for example, looking in search of her father, there's a lot of psychological effect. Can you walk us through what were you feeling back in Ghana, knowing you were Canadian for the past since the age of 14? What were you feeling? How were your peers? I'm sure people didn't believe you.
Yeah,
your friends.
Yeah, my friends and what do you call it?
Katri, upa Katri. Katri now on top.
Yeah, some more easy.
Katri.
Easy. Now more for playing Jindi. Say more Canada. Man be crown. Maybe or baby crop is what Chima crown Jindi.
Or baby person or Chima and Ojin or Mobeka saying. On the common, someone say, hey,
yes, common sim, and they look common sim. Common sim. You know, then the like a determination. You guys know her Jim Hoodie. Me kwana me Jim say metimi abedru baby a mo abedru. Ti me catch you as a phone na determination na Jim Hoodie. The bonfire.
Wow.
So sad story. It's so sad. Not easy. My breath of bossy. So boss from so be even to now I come off for playing Jindi. Same what I say. Be moon Jindi say like my back Canada has say.
So do you show them your passport and say, listen, I wasn't kidding. When I told you I was a Canadian, I was not kidding. Like
some of my friends in Ghana.
Yeah.
No. I didn't show them. So I actually talk to them on the
phone. On the phone, okay.
Yeah.
So now they believe you. Say, we are Canadian. And you say, visa, if we guys, he just came in 2 months. The Canadian passport, in order for you to get a Canadian passport, Canadian citizen on it, like mine. I have the same passport he showed me. In order for you to get it, you have to be a PR, permanent residence. After 3 years of becoming a permanent residence, the process of becoming citizen may take 2 years, because after the 3 years, you can apply to become a citizen. But then when you apply to become a citizen, it is a ceremony. So the Canadian, it is a ceremony. They take it very seriously. They have to search your background. They have to search everything about you. How long have you been in the country? Did you go outside the country over the past 3 years? No, did you go outside the country before you can become a Canadian citizen? So Abu here is in fact a Canadian citizen. So right now, the only thing we have to do, contributing on this channel, but the language barrier isn't supporting us. Yeah. But we are speaking English now. Heron. We are speaking English. Language barrier. Which language are you referring to? You want Chi or Brofo? You want Chi or English? I'm speaking English because the mother we are trying to connect with is non-Ghanaian. She is not a Ghanaian. She's a Jamaican. So a Jamaican, Abu here is the other half is a Jamaican. That's why I really want to continue with in English, because I want everybody to share the video on your platforms. It's on YouTube as well. I'm going to retitle it and post it and show Abu's face more on YouTube and say, I was born at Jane and Finch, looking for my Jamaican mother. Okay. So I'm going to retitle this on different platforms to make sure that I'm from Nigeria. All I understand is English and Hausa. Okay. So I'm speaking English, Okay, so because Abu here was brought back to Ghana, so he speaks very, very deep and very good Chi. That's why I asked him if he can express himself in English, in Chi, rather than the English, because I really wanted him to flow the way he can flow, and then I can do all the translation. So he was born here back in the 1990s. The father brought him after the 4 years. He was 4 years old, brought him back to Ghana and left him there. And it's been 29 years now. And as we all know what is happening in Ghana, in Abu's life, it's not as if the father brought him and gave him to loving and caring.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Abu had to struggle just like any child in Ghana. Abu had to go through boy.
I'm confused.
Went to the stream, the water, and fetch water. I say it's a blessing in the sky, it's a blessing, it's a curse, or what blessing at the same time. Why? Because statistically, Abu was born in a place where a lot of youth at that age ends up in jail. Okay, Abu was born into a Jamaican home, and these people love their children, they pamper them. So many of them, again, you never know. So let's look for Abu's mom and see what she can tell us too. I really want to know. I really want to get to the bottom of this. So if you're Jamaican, watching, or any of you knows a Jamaican, a Jen and Finch, I'm going to send it to many of some of the young guys. I know Kwame and all of those people also came to Jen and Finch when my kids were born at Jen and Finch, 29, 28. They were all born at Jen and Finch. So Abu would have been just a couple years shy from my children, and they would have been able to know Abu. But we wouldn't know where Abu would have ended up if Abu had stayed in Canada. So we are not, all hopes are not lost. Abu grew up to be, ended up being a very fine young guy, very, very humble and very respectful. You don't get that in Canada. The children in Canada, they speak differently, they act differently, they have different options and choices. Abu had none. So again, you know, it was good and bad. Good and bad, right? So what I'm saying to you right now, what is your plan to not right now though? I mean, in the meantime, while we're looking for your mom, take some money. They owe you a lot of money. You know that, right?
Yeah, I know.
The Canadian government owes Abu a lot of money. So Abu right now here, I'm looking for a wife for Abu and a Ghanaian though. A Ghanaian who can take Abu. The Ghana girls at his age, they didn't want him because he was broke.
Yeah, yes, it's true. It's
okay.
Very true.
But though his father did not behave well, I can imagine what he went through a lot. And then Obuasi, for those of you who grew up and especially knowing you're a Canadian, the mindset is different. Your behavior also would have changed because you're a Canadian. You knew from the age of 16. Your stepmom told you. So your behavior and what you want out of life, it's all based on your way of thinking. So like that was a very difficult bubble to be in. You were shielded. Like, it's like sitting in front of chiefs and kings, but then they say you can't eat with them. That's exactly what went on. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. But this is exactly what happened. You're watching your dad come to Ghana once in a while, but then he doesn't take you with him. But then you hold a Canadian passport. Guys, that is the story of Abu. So if any of you knows Abu's mom, a Jamaican woman, someone who has lost their son 29 years ago, please holla for Ahudie. I'm going to recap the whole thing and put it on YouTube and see if someone at Jane and Finch can recognize. You never know. He may be a brother to one of the guys, one of the teachers who grew up in Jane and Finch. You didn't know. Do you have anything else that you want to add? And the mom, let me just, do you have anything else? I'm just going to, oh, that's one thing I forgot to do. The mother's phone, the mother and the mom and the father is this. I know it's an old, it's an old pictures. This is when the father was getting married to the mom. So you never know. Minim se paper ware na anko yi na umame the mother, I don't know.
Seems na make up papa no pepepe.
Oh, oh, yeah, you can tell she was pregnant. And this is when Abu was brought back to Ghana.
Yes, 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 yes.
And this is in Ghana, right?
Yeah.
Oh, poor you. This was at the airport.
Yeah, the airport.
Oh, wow. 94. Yeah. I was in this. That's when I had my son. Okay. So Abu's, wow. And this is the mom. The mother was pregnant when they were getting married. And I think that, Pepper, at that time in 90s, that was when people had to, secure their papers and all. And this is your mom. Yeah. She looks very, very familiar, but I cannot put my hands on it. So any of you guys, if you know any, oh, look at Abu. So when did you get a hold on these pictures?
Yeah, to his room. My father's,
oh, his room.
Yeah.
So he had all these things in his room.
Yeah. It's plenty. The picture is plenty.
So when you broke into the room, these were what you found.
Yeah. At the first time I saw the pictures, but I couldn't find the old passport. So when I went to the TV station, and I get back again, and
that's your dad, right?
Yeah, that's my dad.
Wow. Oh, look at a young Abu at the airport. Innocent, doesn't even know where you are going. Oh, Papa Itimoding. Papa Itimoding. I'm telling you. I'm sorry, Oga. Oh, Papa didn't design. Abu Muhammad. Abu Muhammad. Nitimoding. Guys, if you know this, if you know anyone, please let me know. Okay, this lady used to be a Jane and Finch. Age, at that age, your mother was probably, she looks like someone who is getting into her 40s.
Okay.
Or 40s, or because your dad is what, 60 something, right? 66.
No, yeah.
66. Oh, okay, so she's not that old. Yeah, she's not that old. You are 33. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you are 33. So it's not that old. And she looked pregnant. Yeah. Oh, she's a young lady. She's a young lady. Okay, so guys, listen, this is an incredible story. A very young lady. Look, innocent. She just wanted to do the best thing. She got pregnant with a Ghanaian man, and the best thing to do was to marry the guy. And your dad got himself a good Canadian stay by having you, and now he wants to keep you to himself. Okay. Well, guys, Ghana for thank you very much. This is Abu's story for you. If you know anyone in Jane and Finch area who may be, if you recollect this story, 33 now, born in September 10th, 1990. Abu is a fine young man. This is when you would want to meet him if you are the mother. You can find me on YouTube as well as Facebook. You can email me. You can text me, you can leave me a voice note. Jane and Finch is not too far from where I am. We are now going to pursue the long birth certificate. The short one he found doesn't have mother's information, but the long one does. And the long one, the only way we can get it is if, and also we have these DNA people here. Now people are making thousands of dollars connecting families together. So you never know. We are going to look for Abu's mom. If you have anything to say, please let me know. Or say you should post the pictures. Yes, maybe someone might easily recognize. Yes, I will. In fact, I have all the pictures, Abanga. I'm going to post them and find out. It's easy to find it. Canada is not too, because of technology, of course, hospital records and all those things, it's easy to find. So thank you very much, guys. And this is Abu to you. Abu, anything else to say or?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you who are watching this program. God bless Mama too. So goodbye.
Okay. Alrighty, guys. Bye to you all and share the video. Please, this one, don't sit on it. I want people to share. Please. Thank you. And you'll hear from me again.
What they saying?
We did Saturday more 4 years.
4 years.
But I know until I want Papa them call Ghana.
Canadian born. Now, free Koromuano, sending out unimu shake.
We bring you all that you need to know.